Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everyone. Appreciate you being here. I know there's a lot going on in the world. I know you have a busy schedule, but we're going to effectively use that time today and help you navigate through what's going on in the world. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of change happening, a lot of things feel uncomfortable. And that makes it even harder to make decisions that can pilot your life and maybe hold you back. So let's dig into that. She is a certified dream builder coach, helps people navigate all of this. Doesn't matter who they are, whether you lead a team, a company, you own a company, you're an individual, you're just trying to figure these things out and remove the blocks and the barriers and maybe not be stuck anymore. She is Kristina Smith, and she is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely awesome.
Love having you back here. I am so glad we're going to talk about this because it was last night, right around 10 p.m. I'm in bed. I'm texting a very, very, very close friend. And this whole uncertainty thing, she's in the process of potentially buying a car because the lease is up on her current car. She has job situations. And then she looked at her investments and saw how much money she's lost, all connected to what's going on in the world today. And I'm talking her off the ledge. It's
absolutely.
And what did I do? I was like, all right, let me log in and see, because I try to put things over to the side unless I have to deal with them. So I'm like, oh, lost that much yesterday. Oh, great. So yes, there's a lot going on in our world. Where do we start with that, Kristina? I mean, it's to be expected that change is going to happen, but how do we feel more comfortable in these times?
Yeah, I really think it takes mindful practice. I think it takes really doing what we can with what we have, where we are in the moment. Right now, any of us can do is manage this moment. And in the moment and you and I have talked about this, Steve, several times before, but everything is energy. And we're either contributing to our own well-being in the moment, or we're contributing to dis-ease. We can become ill over this stuff. I was talking to a friend last night also, and we were talking about the fact that when the stock market crashed back in the 30s and we went into a deep depression, the gentleman who lost all his money in the stock market jumped out of a window and, killed himself. And he fell on a woman who was standing in a bread line. So the point is that this suffering is real. Number one, this is not a figment of our imagination. This suffering is real for everyone. What our job is right in through here is to just manage the moment. One of the things that I like to do when I'm working with people is, and I know it sounds very simplistic, but trust me, I've taught this to hundreds of people, and I've heard other people who do this work that I do something similar. I take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I ask my client or the person I'm working with, take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, draw a line horizontally across the middle of the paper. And above the line, you put every positive word you can think of: joy, cheerfulness, love, peace, pride, like all those wonderful words. And then below the line, you put every negative word you can think of: jealousy, anger, frustration, depression. You put all those words. We have one job right in through here, and that's to stay above the line.
Oh, I love that.
Stay above the line. Because when you stay above the line, you have the energy. And I've seen a lot of people who implement things like this, and they are protected from the madness. I'm not saying it's going to prevent your stock from going down and not everybody else's, but literally, I know of a family out in Los Angeles, or in the area where they had the massive fires.
Sure.
And on this one man's block, who I don't know him directly, but I know someone who knows him. Every house on the block was burned but his.
What's your takeaway?
I'm telling you, there are universal laws that a lot of people don't know about that absolutely impact how we experience life. And all I'm going to say is that the more we can stay above the line, the better. We have to really notice what we're thinking. If we're constantly in a space of, this is so depressing. Yes, it is. But is that thought going to help me get through this moment? This is depressing. I don't know what to do. I can't all of that stuff doesn't help us stay safe. We're going to get through this. I don't know what it's going to look like when we get to the other side, but how we look, how we come out of this really is going to depend on what we're doing right here in this moment.
This moment, that for me was the game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Living in the moment. I believe we talked about that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can harness the power of that, it doesn't mean you're not thinking about the future.
Right.
But I guess the best description for me, and I love your feedback on this, is you don't focus so much on the future.
Right.
Whether the future is 10 minutes from now, 10 hours, 10 days, whatever it might be. This is the most important moment right here. And it's kind of like call it peripheral vision. The future is out here, but you're not staring at it. It's just, it's inside.
Steve, let me tell you, I know you've heard this before, but I just love this. So I have to share it now because there may be one person out there who hasn't heard this. But there's this thing I read one time and it just jolted me. And the statement goes, the past is history. The future is a mystery. This moment is a gift. That's why it's called the present.
I heard that. I've heard that. And thank you for the reminder on that.
Yes, exactly.
I'm horrible at remembering those things.
Yeah, that's okay.
I wish I could. Let me see if I can bring it up. The past is history. The future is a mystery. The present is a gift, and that's why they call it a present.
No, this moment is a gift.
And that's why
it's called the present.
Got it.
Like the present, like the gift.
Yes.
The present.
And you just reminded me that the person that was dealing with the stock market and a car buying situation, that was one person. I was also on a call with somebody else, a loved one, last night about a personal situation, ongoing personal situation, and decisions that need to be made. And exactly to your point, I said, write down the positive, the negative. I call it the scale of life, but I like yours better, where you want to stay above the line. And I feel it's so beneficial to see it staring you in the face when you write those things down.
Yes.
And in this situation, I said to them, with what you're dealing with, and it's been years, what's in it for you? We don't ask ourselves that anymore because it sounds self-serving. Yeah, it's in it for me. No, where do you benefit? We all give to others. What are you getting in return? Not that you have to do something for somebody and get something in return, but there should be somewhat equal exchange of energy. And it's definitely one-sided in her situation. And I'm just trying to paint the picture and let somebody else figure it out. But I love the positive above the line, the negative below the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you and I have talked a lot about energy. And one of the things, so there's certain, I love this, there are certain energetic frequencies. And remember the old analog radios we had in the car or whatever.
Look who you're talking to.
Yeah, exactly. So if you wanted to listen to country music, you have to turn to the channel.
Right. You have to turn the dial to the actual frequency of the country station.
Exactly. And if you want to listen to hip hop, you have to turn to another station.
Yep.
If you're in between, what do you get?
Static.
Exactly. You get static. So the point is that when we want to feel good, feel healthy in the moment, the highest frequency there is gratitude.
Okay.
The highest frequency is gratitude. And the more you can be grateful for, the more you will have to be grateful for.
So lots of questions on that of what you
Hmm.
just said,
Hmm.
because it was my understanding that love is the highest frequency. No?
Yes. And so I say this because there are people who have a hard time with the whole issue around love,
Hmm.
but everyone can be grateful.
Okay, fair enough.
Everyone can be grateful. So I use that. But they're both at that highest frequency. When we can love unconditionally, and some people have an issue with that. Some people have an issue with being grateful. Um, Oftentimes I ask people, tell me 10 things you're grateful for. And people really struggle with that.
Yeah. Listen, full disclosure, I keep a gratitude journal. Might have shared that in the
Hmm.
past.
Hmm.
There are some mornings I'm sitting there on my bed and I'm like, all right, what do I want to say I'm grateful for?
Hmm.
Um, it's not a struggle, but it's like trying to bring something to light because I want to be honest with myself.
Hmm.
In the beginning, it comes fast, but if you're doing it every single day as you
Yeah.
should, I get
Yeah.
it. I get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got to think a little bit more because I want to truly be
Yeah.
intentional, not just write
Absolutely.
anything down.
Exactly. And the other thing that people really struggle with is tell me something you're proud of.
Hmm. Hmm. Are you asking?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm proud of my connection doing podcasts with people like you.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Everyone is important, no matter what the message is. Every single one is important. And I'm not going to give you the number, but I'm hitting a milestone this year of being in broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
And, think about that. I'm proud of that. It's like, wow,
Great. That's great.
it's, it's
Hey,
not,
Steve.
it's,
Steve, you just raised your vibration tremendously.
interesting.
Just by focusing on what you're proud of, I actually could feel your vibration moving up.
I meant it.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
that's why.
great. That's
Yeah.
great. That's really
But
great.
it's funny when you take a second there, you'll start coming up with other things that you're proud of.
Yes.
How about you? What are you proud of?
I'm proud that I do the work that I do to help people reach their dreams. That's really important to me. I don't know whether I ever shared this with you, but literally, many years ago, I wrote a mission statement. I told you I read a whole bunch of books that led me down a path that allowed me to realize we have so much control over what we experience in life,
Mm,
what shows up in life, and so on and so forth. And I wrote a mission statement, and my mission statement was I help millions of people overcome their self-imposed limitations. And, I was so happy that I ran across a system that actually has put into place all these things that I was reading. And so helping people at work have a better experience at work, helping organizations know how to create a space where I've helped organizations become um, best places to work.
mm. I love your mission statement.
Yes.
I believe we should all have a mission statement for
Mhm.
our lives, not even
Yes.
just what we offer in terms of,
Right.
business or whatever. And
Hmm.
in my world, I'm part of a men's group and we do what's called a CPR. Don't know if I ever shared that with you.
No.
And it's kind of what you're describing, but doesn't matter what you're going to do. You write the context, the purpose, the results. The
Mm.
context can be just two words. And my last one in the last tour of this group was Beast Mode 2.0 because I wanted to
Ooh.
work on my health and fitness, something that's
Ooh.
going to resonate right to the
Yeah.
point. The
Yeah.
purpose, and essentially the purpose is to blank, 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 so that blank, blank, blank can blank, blank, blank. You
Mm.
fill in the blanks, and then the results are in the past tense. So yours might be, let's say in what you do, that might be looking to help I helped 10 people this month change their life. It's in
Ooh,
the past tense,
right.
CPR.
Hmm.
And it's basically a mission statement, just like you said, but it's got a formula that
Yeah.
sometimes helps you think. When I started doing them, to be honest, Christina, I was like, oh, and they require it in this group.
Yeah.
CPR and that, and another CPR and that. And one day, not long ago, I had an epiphany as I'm writing it out. I'm like, this is actually a really good idea. It's almost it's a
Yes.
list of things, but it's done in a way that it's memorable. But I
Yes.
just wanted to share. It's a different way of doing it, but
I like that. I
mission
like
statement
that.
for everything.
Hmm.
What's your purpose in life? Why are you here?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
your mission? And again, seeing it in front of you as opposed to just keeping it up
Hey,
in your head.
hey, Steve, I don't know whether I ever shared this with you or not, but Harvard did a study uh, 50 years ago, and they followed, and back at that time, there were only men at Harvard. They followed all 100 students for 50 years, and they
Wow.
found that 5 students were happier, had more money, had better relationships, had more job fulfillment, and all that other stuff than the other 95. And you know what the difference was?
I'm really curious.
The 5 wrote down their intentions. They wrote down what they wanted. They wrote down their vision of their marriage, their vision of their companies, their vision of what they would accomplish. 5 people made more money than all 95 put together.
Wow.
Yes.
So I wonder, by writing it down, and I'm curious about the amount of detail that went into that, each of those different categories. But do you feel by writing it down, number one, they had a direction, but number two, energetically, it helped them manifest what they wanted?
Absolutely.
Wow.
No doubt in my mind. Isn't that amazing?
It really is. It's
That's, that's
it's one of those things that is so simple, and then we say, "Why is it going to make a difference? I'm going to
yeah,
take the time. I know
exactly.
what I got. I know what I
Right.
want to do."
Exactly.
And then,
Exactly.
wow,
It's incredible. It's incredible.
homework assignment for everyone.
Yes. Write it down.
Write it
Write it
down.
down.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is
And
phenomenal.
so, we were talking about getting through this time,
Sure.
and keeping above the line is really important for your well-being. See, this is what I understand. We can't control what's happening outside of us to a big degree right now. We can control how we think about it.
Hmm.
I love the story of Nelson Mandela and how he walked out of prison, and he had the utmost respect for the guards who, you know, had imprisoned him, and the system that had imprisoned him. And he said, if I had walked out angry, I would be a prisoner for the rest of my life.
Mm. Well, therein
So
lies.
that was a choice. He had a choice. He had every right. How long was he in jail? 35 years, something like that, something ridiculous. He had a choice to make about whether or not he was going to walk out an angry man, or was he going to say, this was for my greater good?
Mm.
He transformed as a human being by going through that process. And he became a better human being. He became a better human being, even though what was done to him was horrific.
And he made a choice to forgive.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm. Wow. Um, when you
The
look,
law of forgiving is one of these laws that a lot of people don't understand.
absolutely, gratitude, which we
Yes.
explored, and forgiveness. We could do a whole podcast on forgiveness.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
it's just got a download of thought. And the stock market situation, which ties back into the uncertainty, the change, everything that's going on now. If you look at one day, let's say yesterday, you could say, oh, I lost thousands. I lost $6,000 in one day. What's going on here?
Mhm.
But if you go back and look at the last year, you gained, I'm hypothetical here,
Right.
21,000.
Right.
So don't focus on, look at the bigger picture.
Yes.
And then in terms of your life, because if you look at what you've accomplished in the last month, you might say, well, it's all right. But if you go back and look at it as a chunk, like 6 months, you're like, well, I kind of moved things along. Then a year. I can't believe a year has passed. Look what I did in that year.
Yes.
A lot going, whether it was accomplishments, personal growth, whatever it might be. And even to illustrate that, I went to the gym once. And a lot of times we look in the mirror.
Just once? You just went once?
This one. Yeah. Accountability. That's your job. This one particular time, a lot of times you look in the mirror and you're like, man, look at that on your face. Oh man, you look horrible today. But I looked in a full length mirror and I saw myself in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't focus on one little thing here and there. I looked at the total sum and it was like, oh, it's not that bad. It's all right. You're okay. Yeah. I don't think we do that.
No, we don't. We don't. It's funny because I have been on this journey also around giving and receiving. A lot of times, especially women, I don't mean to be stereotypical, but a lot of times women are used to giving a lot. Like you were talking about your friend, give and give and give, and sometimes don't receive.
Yep.
And some of that may have to do with feeling not worthy enough to receive. But the law of circularity means giving and receiving both are really important.
Yes.
And if you're not receiving, then this is not the right space. This is not the right relationship. This is not the right business relationship. There has to be some giving and receiving. And you said it, something to that effect earlier. It's the idea of, I read someplace that someone went through a drive-in fast food thing, and I don't do that very often, but someone paid for the car behind them.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't tell you, because I've been doing, not that, because I don't go through fast food places very often. But I've been doing other little things like that. Whether it's walking, I had to go have an MRI because I had back issues. And this woman who was taking me in and was going to put me on the bed just looked miserable. I mean, she just looked like she was unhappy to be alive. And I said, this is so silly. But I said, oh my God, your nails look lovely. And they actually did. I wasn't making that up. And she just lit up. And then her whole demeanor around me changed. She said, would you like a warm blanket while you're on the bed? I was like, that would be lovely. I mean, it was just this whole circle of love going on from this little teeny thing. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a restaurant, in some cases with another female friend, or sometimes by myself, and someone has paid my meal. And I don't even know who it was.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't someone trying to flirt. It was just, I don't even know who did it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Now, the question here is, did you pay it forward?
Of course. And I'm sure that's why it came to me, because I started doing these little things and bigger things and so on and so forth. So yeah, and again, I never pay it forward. Actually, I started my own little giving forward. And so that's why it started. But I didn't do it with the intention of, I'm going to do this so somebody's going to do it for me. You just do.
Well, some wonderful things that we identify with what you just said is, I believe, love everyone. Be kind.
Yes.
That tech that you spoke to, or that could be the barista at Starbucks that just made you a cup of coffee. And being genuine, like you said, you could just pay one quick compliment.
Yes.
You could be saving that person's life. You don't know what they're going through. And I heard this, and I'm wondering what you think about it, because you're plugged into energy. There always needs to be an exchange. So if you do something for somebody, let's say you save them a lot of money and no charge. Yeah, I got you. No problem. Yeah. They should give you $1. There's an energetic exchange. Yeah, just send me $1. Somebody actually had me do that. They did something for me, and I truly appreciated it. And I said, do I owe you anything? Yeah. They said, no, I'm not going to say no charge. It's $1. Venmo me $1. And
That's
I
great.
did, because there should be an exchange of energy.
Yes. And the other thing is, we know Einstein said no energy is wasted. So if I gave $1 to a homeless person or $5, I'm not expecting it back from that person, but it will come back in some shape, some form,
Sure.
because energy can't be wasted.
Sure. Yeah. And of
Love
course, you shouldn't do it expecting something in
No,
return.
exactly. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Well, we had a lot of things today.
I know we did.
But all good things, and all very universal things, and very
Yes.
useful things
Yes.
to pilot your life forward. This is just a piece of what you do to help people find balance in their lives. Try to move forward with the uncertainty. Find the good. Find the good.
Yeah.
What's the
Yes.
best way, Kristina, for somebody to connect with you?
Oh, sure. Giving me a call is perfectly fine. It is 202-630-0328. Wait a minute. Let me double check that. I have a new office phone. I want to make sure that's the right number real quick.
0382.
Yeah. 202-630-0382.
Gotcha.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
202-630-0382. That's great.
I actually do that sometimes. I have to double check my number.
Yeah, I
Did
know,
I
it's
just say
terrible.
the right number? I've had it for years.
Exactly.
And what's your website?
My website is yourdreamsaccomplished.com. I've had an upgrade. Your Dreams Accomplished with an ED at the end. Yourdreamsaccomplished.com.
Final thought.
Yes.
With and I love your domain, your dreamsaccomplished.com. So that even ties into what we talked about before, even with the CPR, where it's already been done.
Yes.
It's
yes.
already, and that's the process of manifestation. It's already here. It's already happened.
Literally, my mentor from the Brave Thinking Institute, Mary Morrissey, says you cannot get to your dream. You have to come from your dream.
We'll end right there.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Kristina, love talking with you. Love your clarity. That truly is your superpower. You get right to it, make it easy to understand, give examples that we can relate to. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Have a good one.
You too. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind, like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind, like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama, like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.